Hey, we're back. Welcome back. Hello, Ellie. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, tech commuters. Happy November 1st. It is Friday, November 1st. Holy crap. We made it through October.
Yes.
Barely.
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 But we
Holy
made
shit.
it. Now we are on to new horizons, a new month, new
Yep.
mugs. Apparently you have Thanksgiving mugs. I don't,
Not we don't have many. We don't have many
autumn
Thanksgiving
mugs.
mugs. We already had the fall ones out, but we do have some Thanksgiving mugs, but it's all Christmas. It's
Okay, but
Christmas.
I personally think it's good to move into Christmas now. I'm
Yeah,
not on board with the wait until December for Christmas. I feel like November, Thanksgiving, you could still be watching Christmas movies during
sure.
that time. Yeah.
Sure. You shouldn't be surprised
My
about the mugs
personal
for sure.
opinion, but I'm
I can
against Ryan on
appreciate
that.
that. I can appreciate that. We have a special guest waiting in the queue here, and I'd love to bring Chevet up. Chevet is a former coworker of yours, yeah?
Yes.
I love it. Well, I would love to bring him up and he can talk to us about what the heck he's getting himself into these days. And I know a couple people were very excited to share what they've been up to this year. Hopefully, Edmund drops into the chat here because I know he was particularly excited. So I hope for some good news for Edmund. But anyway, let's bring Chevet up here. Let's say hello. There he is. Oh my God, Chevet is in a forest right
Yeah,
now,
Chevet is in the
folks.
forest, in the jungle.
Oh,
in the Amazon.
yeah,
Yes.
wow. Okay, coming from location. I like that,
Yeah.
Shay. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see
What's
you. So good to see you, Jason and Ellie both. I was just going over all of the Twitter feed around All Things Open, and it made me really. I really felt FOMO for the first time in a long time. With the amazing memories that I had from that conference, and then seeing everyone, like literally everyone apart from myself, being there and enjoying it. I really felt bad, but it was good to see like everyone was enjoying, and at least I was able to still grasp that level of bond. The bond that we were able to create as a community together at that conference, and then continuing it further and growing it even further with a larger group of folks. So it is really good to see. So I really hope to be able to make it to All Things Open next year.
Yeah, definitely the FOMO. The FOMO is real, and it kind of stinks too because GitHub Universe was happening at the exact same time, and I'm seeing like that other circle of friends that are there, and they're doing all this crazy fun stuff, and it's like, oh, Langsdorff's there, Becca from Open Sauce is over there. It's like all these people that I talk to all the time that weren't with those people that I talk to all the time this week. I think maybe next year I'll have to try GitHub Universe. We'll
It
see.
looked really cool, actually.
Yeah.
I saw there was
Yeah.
a lot of like cool demos and booths and stuff. Like, I would want to go, but just to look at all the cool stuff. And I saw the name tags, like you could actually program them to
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
stuff on them. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, don't worry, Chevet. Next time you can go to All Things Open. I still like that conference better, but I don't know if I will ever find
Really?
a conference that I like. Yeah, no, I like All Things Open for me was like obviously I didn't go to like any of the sessions, so I don't really know. I'm a little bit I don't know, biased, or maybe my point of view is not as like valid as the other times that I've gone to conferences, but I would say that I like that conference better. And Render and All Things Open,
Because
maybe like
they're
tied.
more focused on the core tech. I would say that. So they do offer more tech, and that conference is a really sweet spot between community, tech, and fun. So I think
Oh, nice
it
way of
just
putting it.
has
Yeah.
all of the elements. Even though
Yeah.
I really love the way that Todd Lewis, who is the main organizer of All Things Open, the way that he organizes it, because he has been doing it for the past, I think, 12 years, I guess, since he's been running the conference. And every single year, everyone says that it is one of the best community conferences and like a very large scale tech conference that is still primarily like a non-profit or slash community influence on it. So, and of course, like since it has a massive open source presence, I highly doubt that there is a larger open source conference as compared to All Things Open.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's like the special point
Mhm.
about it is
Yeah.
the open source stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a huge benefit to that conference. Ellie, you've been to Render this year. You've been
Yes.
to that conference
To
this
that
year, and
conference.
you've
All
been to
things
All Things
open.
Open this year. Give us like kind of a compare and contrast between the three, because
And I
personally,
went to one other one, but
oh
it was a
yeah,
really
yeah,
small one. Yeah.
FlutterCon, right? FlutterCon, yeah.
No, I
FlutterCon.
didn't go to FlutterCon.
Oh
That
no,
was
you didn't go to that
Richard.
one.
I know me and
DevOps
Richard
days.
look almost
Yeah.
identical, so
Yeah.
it's hard to get
You went to
Yeah,
DevOps Days Halifax.
That's
I
right.
went to DevOps Days
Yeah.
in Halifax. So yeah, those were like 4 different conferences. I would say, that conference obviously number 1 for me. I just think maybe it's because of like the family friendly aspect. I kind of, even though I don't have kids and I didn't bring like my whole family, I like kid activities maybe. So I like board games, and like I'm not a big drinker, so I like that it wasn't like focused on drinking, like the social activities were not focused on that. Like that's
Yeah.
something that I really appreciate, because I don't get much out of that. Like, as Richard knows, like me and Richard were just like, hey, hanging out.
I had the best,
I feel the same.
Yeah.
I had the best experience with Ellie when you tried that beer. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
And
I tried a
said
beer.
to-
I was like,
she grabbed the cup here. I'll show you exactly.
yeah, I have a
She
cup
was
here
like,
too.
she's like, here, let me try it. And she goes, two-handed like this, like a toddler cup. I was like,
Yeah.
this is how I can tell you do not do this often. And it was funny. It was funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say that's the kind of the
pinnacle
description of that conference and why I prefer it, I guess.
Sure.
And I also feel like at that conference, for some reason, it's just easier to get into like deep discussions with people very randomly. Maybe it's just the vibe of a lot of people there. And then I would say Render. I'm so biased because I got this in the GitHub like claw
Yeah, the claw
machine. So
machine. Yeah.
I feel like that for me, I was like, yeah, I love this.
Yeah,
And I
that's
got to hang out with Roxy literally the whole time. So like obviously I had fun with her.
I think I don't know. It's sort of subjective to what you want to do at these conferences. Like I think that conference, like just the feel, the vibe is vastly different than these other two. But I would compare Render and All Things Open, just the energy,
Right?
just having all those
lot.
people. Yeah, it was very overstimulating. I think that's one of the things that people crash from. It's that couple days after we're recovering, because it's just so much coming in all at once. Like
I feel like All Things Open is even a little bit more than Render when it comes to like the stuff going on.
Because I think Render kind of started off focused as a React conference, and then they gradually had more of software engineering and a lot of AI now these days. But All Things Open has been a pretty open conference, right from embedded software all the way to DevOps. It has had everything. And I went there in 2022, and as you mentioned, that being able to meet Jason, all of the people who have such a huge influence in the open source community, being able to meet them is just absolutely insane. And I think but at the same time, as you very rightly mentioned, that the kind of collaborations that I had, and of course the amazing folks like Richard, Jason, everyone from our group within that conference, the bonds were almost instant, and we were able to interact so much, because like All Things Open, you have 3,000 people as well, so it's probably a bit hard to be able to speak with everyone. But at that conference, like you have less number of people, and you are able to have much more meaningful, deeper conversations. So it's like that kind of balance. If you are looking perhaps for a job, you could get it at both locations, but you might probably get more opportunities at the All Things Open. But just for forming networks, it's probably that conference is much better.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on your goals. Like I think All Things Open, out of those 3, I think All Things Open is the best for jobs, because there was literally so many sponsors there, way more than Render, in my opinion, just because a lot of the Render booths were kind of big, but these were all sort of small. I think there was a lot more, maybe double, just from my kind of guess. But and it seemed like people might have been hiring. And there was somebody going around like checking to see which companies were hiring, and then they would enter us into a raffle if we were hiring. So I feel like there was an emphasis on like kind of helping people get jobs there. I'm not really sure if it was like pre-planned or what, but yeah, definitely agree with that.
Yeah, they I didn't even realize that there was that upstairs at All Things Open. And then that was just a ton more tables and booths and everything. But I agree. I think Render, that floor where like all the companies were, they had very elaborate setups with like booths and seating areas and whole staged outside of Hero Devs. The booths were just tables, just tables at All Things Open, you know, a couple little things here and there, but it was very, very basic. But do you think there were more companies at Render or at All Things Open though? Because they were all in one place at all Render, but they were on 2 floors at All Things Open, just everywhere. So I'd be curious to see.
I think All Things Open definitely, because I mean, it wasn't just in the front, it was like the 2 side hallways too, and then on the top floor, and then there was like these little cubby room things that had a couple booths. I think there was like, I don't know for sure, but I feel like there had to be at least 40 or 50 booths, maybe more. And I think at Render, I'm not totally sure. I'm just tallying based on like the amount of swag I got. A lot of the booths were bigger, you know, took up more surface area, and then also, I think the companies at Render were bigger companies, you know, like GitHub, Microsoft. Like, what is the likelihood that you're going to get a job at Microsoft? Maybe not that high, or like Zillow is a pretty large company, Home Depot. I think All Things Open, there were a little bit, you know, there were some smaller companies and a lot more startups, and an open source aspect too. Like you could find out if that company had open source projects and maybe get involved, but I didn't hear like anything about, hey, join our community at Render. So I guess it depends. Like if you're trying to get like a job, like a FANG company job, then maybe Render would be the place to go for that. But I feel like All Things Open, if you want a startup job or work at like a software company, yeah, I don't know. That's just my observation. But what about you?
And I know like we are talking about all of these conferences that have a scale of like, let's say at max 2,000, 3,000 folks. So like a couple of weeks back, I went to GITEX conference. It's currently in Dubai. So it's not really conference per se. It's more of a trade show with almost 100,000 plus members from almost 150 plus countries that come and attend the conference. So imagine that they have so many number of booths that you can take you almost 40 minutes to go from one end of the conference center to the other, because they have like they of course cover the entire expo hall, but then they also have a lot of other external tents that they have to create. And each one of these tents, for example, just the artificial intelligence tent per se is essentially an entire hall that's probably as large as the All Things Open venue, and they have probably 100 sponsors just in that one hall. So you can imagine then they have 50 of such halls. So you have to, it will probably take you like 40-50 minutes to just travel from one place to another. Of course, like the biggest companies, but their focus is now completely different altogether. They are much more focused on having collaborations with large businesses, like large businesses. So like the Abu Dhabi government, the UAE government, they had their own massive booths around AI. They literally had a custom retrofitted Cybertruck that has a lot of AI features being used by the Dubai police.
That's cool.
So it is
that's awesome.
Absolutely insane that the kind of event. I took some pictures, so I'll probably share that in that conference Twitter group.
Man. Post them up. Post them up.
This massive to see the size of the the comparison in the size of the conference versus like these large tech shows that that are there. And of course, like the conference that I was part of, it was called as DevSlam. So it was a developer community focused conference, sub conference within this entire GITEX. So even in there, they had like different days, they had different events. So one day they had DevOps Days MEA, which is like the Middle East, and then they had PyCon MEA. The next day they had Kotlin MEA, then they had .NET MEA. So every day they had like 1,000 people coming with a specialized group on each and every single day. So yeah, when you compare with that conference versus because I thought like I have attended enough conferences that I'll not get overwhelmed, but this is just another beast of its own. It's just absolutely insane, mind-boggling.
Yeah, I wonder the vibe at those conferences there. I can only imagine, and again, such a contrast to what that conference is. I love all the people coming in here about the conference addiction, though.
Yeah,
It's interesting because I feel like there's different types of people that go to conferences, and it's I guess ultimately is like what your goal is out of the conference. Like Ellie, you went because you were working this time. You didn't even get to go to the booths and check stuff out.
My only judgment of the content of this conference was based on all of the people I interacted with. So like the vibe of the average human that was there, because I interacted with quite a lot of people and had conversations with like each one of them for at least a couple minutes. And then the second was like the after conference social. So that's basically what I'm judging, because I didn't go to any of the other things besides the first day with the open discussion thing. I forgot they're called unconference sessions.
Oh yeah.
It was similar to open tables, but the open spaces. But I like open spaces better because in an open space you don't really know who the host of the open space is, right? But in the unconference session, like at least mine, and I did see other people's as well, it's like we kept going back to the host for like guidance of where the conversation is going to go next, or like if there was a question that popped up, then it's like on the host to now give their wisdom about that. And so like I hosted a session about like Twitter spaces and live events, because Jim was like, oh, that might be a good idea. Like you should do that. And so I was like, okay, I'm thinking it's an open space, right? And people are going to come in and kind of share their own stories. And some people did, but I kept going back to me, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm also kind of a noob too. Like
that was Sunday. You did that on Sunday?
Yeah, it was good though, but it's a little bit of a different format. It's like slightly, you're a little bit elevated. I'm not really sure why that happened, but you know,
they probably need some sort of direction, so it makes sense.
But at least for the Twitter spaces, you have had so many of them. I would probably not call you a noob.
That's also, I felt like, oh, at least I have this, right? That I'm pretty confident in, and that I do have some experience in. But the problem was that I don't know if anyone is in the chat that went to my session, but like a lot of the people in this like open space thing, discussion space, they like hated Twitter. So they were like, well, why don't we move to Blue Sky? Why don't we move to Mastodon or whatever? Why don't we move? And I'm just like, bruh, the first sentence of this card that I posted on this board was Twitter Spaces. Like, if you hate them, don't come to a talk
why would you go? Them. Why would you be there?
Literally, I would say out of the 45 minutes, like a solid 15 to 20 minutes was spent discussing like alternatives to Twitter because of like how evil Elon Musk is. And I'm just like, bruh, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about like, you know, basically hosting live events for users or people that you want to connect with, whether you're working with a company or you're just creating a personal brand or whatever. So it was a very odd situation for me, because I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to get into politics here.
Yeah, that's tough, and it's a slippery slope, because I guess without the expectation of what the space is, maybe they were expecting people to convince you, or you to convince people why they should do it. Like, what's the selling point?
Right. That's not what I wanted to. I was not trying to convince people like get on Twitter. Twitter is like the best place ever. I was not trying to do that. I was just trying to explain like kind of the benefits of doing it, because I don't really think there's another place where you can get like, you can just host a space. You have, you know, maybe a couple hundred followers, and then maybe there's 100 people listening to you. It could happen. And I think it's pretty unlikely to happen anywhere else. So,
yeah, I agree. I would love if anybody's got speak, since we are the wins space. If people have wins for the week, I'd love to hear them. Drop them in the chat. I know I saw Edmund here earlier, and he teased some wins. I would love to hear those. Put them in there. Chave, since you're our guest today, what do you got for wins for the week, my friend?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, Ellie mentioned that we are now ex co-workers. It is a lot of fun working at Pieces for over an year. Unfortunately, all good things have to come to a close. So ever since then, I kind of focused on just improving my skills, primarily in the space of generative AI, and I've been doing a lot of freelancing. I haven't really gotten back into really getting into job hunting as such. We had two other co-workers, Arindam and Amitesh. All three of us used to actually work at Pieces together with Ellie in the DevRel team. So we right now are running a agency, like a DevRel agency, where we are supporting a couple of companies with DevRel and freelance technical writing efforts. So I've been focusing on that, and I've been enjoying that quite a lot. It's because it gives you a lot more, and of course, I'm using a lot of my learnings from what I achieved at Pieces to then apply them for being able to build good DevRel programs. Because I feel like now with my experience, the next role that I'd like to join would be more of, I would definitely like to join on a more senior role where I can lead more defined efforts within the DevRel space. So this freelance is actually giving me that kind of opportunity to build DevRel programs for a couple of companies from scratch. So I think I've been enjoying that quite a bit. And I think one of the wins for this week was that I had to build a really complex integration. So if you're not aware of Permit.io, have you heard of the company Permit.io? So it's basically how we can add role-based access control over data, right? So whether we talk about RBAC, based on if the particular type of user has specific permissions for either reading documents or writing documents or updating. So based on these role-based access control, how you control your data flow for a data application. So for example, if at the database level, you have of course different kind of commands that you can type, but on the application layer, if you want to control that, if only specific users can call certain database SQL, like a SQL query, so you can handle all of that with either Okta, Auth0, or even Permit. So I built an integration where you can basically send a SQL based query, and based on the RBAC permissions that have been set at the application layer with the help of Permit.io. So if the user has the permission, like a specific user has the permission to use that SQL query, then they will be able to do so. If they don't have that, then they'll not be able to. So I built this integration that is shown as part of the Permit.io launch week. So they are having an entire launch week for all of their new updates. So I basically built this integration, and it was featured and it was made live. So it was my first time going into authentication, authorization, all of these concepts. I've tried to stay away from them from time to time, but I got into it and I really like the field. So I think that's also a really good potential field, because security and authentication is very important, right? I remember we met the Pangaea team. I hope I'm pronouncing their name correctly. So
I always say Pangea, but is that wrong?
I thought that was the way you pronounce it. But either way.
Yeah, Pangea. Yeah. So it's a company like Pangea. So I really loved their concept as well. Even at that time, I was telling Jim that authorization and authentication is one thing that I always feel a bit scared of. So I took it as a challenge to kind of upskill myself, and then so I love doing that. So that is my major win. So worked on this integration, worked on a blog post for that, and then it was showcased during the launch week. So that is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hold on. What do I do? This? Yes. There it is. Woohoo! Let's give flowers. Give flowers to Chevy. There we go.
Thank you so much.
I can't. There's no double this, double that.
Nope.
What? Just this, just that. Oh, balloons.
Oh,
there we go. We'll get it figured out.
Yeah. I have ducks. Let's throw some ducks. Whee!
Oh, ducks. Woo.
Oh, wow. I have 10 ducks though, but
watch her hit the keyboard and it ends the call somehow. We got hearts too. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
There we go.
Got some confetti. We need to get some confetti. Yeah. I order something on Amazon for $5 and just.
I really love
confetti guns.
Yeah, and then it just stays connected. Yeah. The demo, one person did it at All Things Open the entire time. And that's it was, funny. I believe it was a guy that also was named Jim.
Wow.
Something about gyms and confetti cannons, I guess.
You know what's funny? There was this one video posted on like our TikTok, Instagram, Reels, and it was a video of Jim. And somebody wrote like a troll comment or like kind of a, whatever comment. And the person's name was like, like Jimmy Bob boy or something. And I was just like,
You
like,
thought
is
he
this
was doing it to
Jim
himself?
trolling
Yeah.
himself?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's hilarious.
it's weirdly similar to his name. Okay.
Well, maybe they did that on purpose because they're trolling him. So, holy
Oh,
crap!
definitely
Do I
possible.
see a wild Ootpa in the chat?
Oh wow.
I know. Oop.
Dang,
That's
that's
been a long
crazy.
time.
fall colors.
I
He did
know.
go on a trip. I saw him.
Yes.
I saw his airport. I think airport coding
He
on an
was-
airplane.
He was flying around. What's stopping you from coding like this on an airplane?
Right. I saw Mika's
Nauseousness.
post about that. She was like, I dressed up like the thing I'm scared of most
Yeah.
for Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. Let's see. Richard's dropping in here, went to All Things Open and caught up with my wonderful friends and made new friends and had some potential job leads as well.
Ooh.
Love that.
That is great.
Some confetti for that.
Hell yeah. What else we got here? Oopas, yes. Hello to our homie Oopa, one of the OGs. Edmund, here we go. Okay, this week my win was getting my web development certification after nearly 2 years. I finally made it to the
Woo!
end of the course. Yes. Here, hold on. Let's give Edmund definitely deserves flowers. Edmund has been around forever. Again, one of the OGs. I love celebrating wins with everybody.
I know,
that's
like
awesome.
like completing certification is one of the things that people probably procrastinate the most, because it's not that it's required for your job. It's just that it always goes in the backlog of your daily day-to-day tasks. So
Mhm.
that's a huge thing, like completing the certification.
Heck yeah.
Right.
Matt's coming in with a win this week, completed all my tough back-end work for a few weeks, and he just announced his BrewConf. He's trying to come up with a beer-inspired tech conference out in the San Diego area. Love
I
that.
guess you'll be there,
let's
right,
go.
Jason?
Oh, hell yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be there too. I'll be
Yes.
like this.
Yeah, that's right. You get one sippy cup.
I'll
of-
be like, I'll try this
a light
one.
beer.
Tastes like beer.
I've tried the non-alcoholic or the 0% beer, and it just tastes horrible. I don't get how people can drink. So
It all
there's-
tastes horrible. Let's be
There
honest.
is a brand, Athletic Brewing does make like 2 of their variations are okay. They're still, it still does not taste like a real beer, but it's closest that I've had. But what's the point? I mean, I'll just drink a beer. It's fine. And we need to have everything on tap has to have some sort of a tech type name. There are plenty of companies out there that brand stuff for like conferences and stuff. So they have like kind of techie, fun names like that. Excuse me. Let's see what else we got coming in.
One of them
here.
could be Jason's beer, but it would be spelled
Jason. Yeah,
Yes.
Jason.
like Jason Lager or something. That would be.
Yeah,
that would be
that's a good
awesome.
one.
I love that. Confetti.
Look, Lawrence is here. Hello,
Lawrence, we're talking about wins. Tell us about your. You were at a conference too, I think. Something Java
Everybody
and Vaadin
was.
related. Hell yeah, it was definitely a conference week. PR for chugs. If you get your PR gets declined, you have to chug a pint and fix it nice. Text coming in with ship code twice on Halloween night. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
I actually, you know what? I deployed my Laravel app yesterday too on Halloween, so that was pretty
Nice.
cool. Yeah, I was pretty
So
stoked
this
about
means
that.
someone didn't go for trick or treating.
I
Yeah,
deployed a pumpkin.
I deployed a pumpkin.
Did you
I
see my
deployed-
pumpkin? I carved it. That was me.
With
I
the Pieces
carved
logo?
The
Yeah.
Pieces logo.
Oh
in a
wow,
pumpkin.
that is so cool. Yeah,
I thought I could do like 15% better than that, but it was pretty good. I think
It is really
I
good,
I
yeah.
got pretty close.
you're an artist.
It was hard. I had to like use a straw to get the circle part out. So I
That's
was like,
funny.
how do I? And that middle part of the logo was like hanging on for its dear life because I accidentally stabbed most of the pumpkin. But anyway,
so just a quick,
I made it.
just a fun question. So when you carve out the actual pumpkin, so you have to kind of hollow it from inside. Do you
Yeah.
usually eat the inside part, or do you just throw it away?
I
You
usually
can
don't, but I tried to make the seeds. I like put them in the oven and
Hey, roast them. Yeah.
they tasted weird. I mean, they just didn't taste good. I think it's my fault, to be
Yeah,
fair.
I think you got to like wash them off and then dry them, then
Yes.
roast them.
Then
I did do all of the
Yeah.
above. I followed like
Ah.
a 5-star recipe
Ooh.
on the internet,
And it still only
was-
came out a 2-star, huh?
came out like a 1-star. I
Last-
ate it and I was like, no,
That sounds like a
this is not
skill
working.
issue. That sounds like a
last
skill
year I
issue.
celebrated
Definitely it
Halloween
is.
in Australia. So in
Cool.
in Australia, we basically had we carved out the pumpkin, but then we also had a with the leftovers from the pumpkin, we made a pumpkin pie, which is amazing.
That's
that is
cool.
one of the
Yeah.
best.
We like all the pumpkin stuff. I've just
Hmm.
never actually used the flesh of a carved
Oh, okay.
pumpkin to do
Got it.
anything out of it.
To be fair, I don't think you can use some of them. Some of them that we
Sure.
bought, the bigger ones, said it's not for consumption.
Well, yeah, because they
Oh,
make
okay.
they make specific pie pumpkins, like they're
Yes.
branded pie pumpkins. So Lawrence coming in, it was his first time in Germany. He made himself the unofficial photographer for the event. You did take some really
Nice.
good pictures, man. I thought you did some solid coverage. Let's see. We got Upa here. Personal win. Achieved 2 miles daily walk goal with consistency this week. Saw fall color for the first time in person. I love that. Here, let's give the flowers to Lawrence,
Yep.
Lawrence, and to Upa for
getting
it in.
fitness consistency is one of the hardest things. Like I recently
There
started
it
going
is.
to gym back again, and I think like that's probably a win for me as well. That
Hell
October
yeah.
I only missed gym like 2 days, and that was because of travel. So I
Ooh.
think there's
Yeah.
There's
I love that.
Francesco. Hello.
There's Fran. What's up, Fran? Good to see you. Tell us your win for the week, Francesco. I think you were at a conference too, weren't you? I feel like he was at another conference. He did a talk. Or maybe that was last week. It was like his first
Probably.
Italian conference that he attended. I remember seeing the pictures, but yeah, so many conferences. This is like peak conference season.
Yep.
Fall
I
colors,
know.
conference colors. I am repping the All Things Open shirt.
It is a nice shirt.
Oh,
It's
wow.
soft. A lot of the
It's a very
shirts
nice
were really
shirt.
soft.
Yes.
they were really good.
Yeah.
Um,
Shout out to
back
all
in
the people that got me
2022
swag and shirts.
So back in 2022, they were also giving away these massive posters. I'm not sure if they had that similar thing this year.
They
right
Yeah.
did.
behind
They
the-
did. They
Oh.
had
They were, like, limited-
posters. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in fact, like I have one at my home which I got framed.
Oh,
so
that's
it
cool.
basically hangs in my room.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Francesco did his first talk in Italian, 300 plus people, and he's done with
Woo.
traveling. Yes, let's go.
How do we say congrats in Italian?
Oh, that's a great question.
Let me see.
Yeah, look it up. Wait, what? Did I? Oh, peace. The peace signs. God, I'll figure this out eventually. There we go.
Doesn't work
That's
for me.
awesome. Yeah, I missed the posters as well, Richard. I know I saw the table and they were doing like book signings, like random authors were
Yeah.
coming. I'm sure there was a schedule.
So this
I
is
never
behind
looked
the
at it.
registration desk, right? So behind the registration
Yeah.
desk where you have the sticker, circle, and then you can purchase swag as well, I guess.
I found a congrats, bro. It's
Congrats.
congratulazioni.
Yeah, that's what
fratello.
Fran said too. Congratulazioni. Congratulazioni. I like that. Well,
That is really
Is that what we're
good.
doing?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I don't. Yeah, you got to do the hands.
Francesco said this is actually rude to do this. Did you
Oh,
know that?
yeah. No, I think.
Apparently this
think
means
I
like, what are
remember
you
him saying-
talking about?
Yeah. Well, I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about, so I feel like it's contextual here.
Maybe you have to.
Um,
We have to do it like this. Maybe this is like congratulations.
Yeah,
I'll
Lawrence
not
is
even
saying,
try to speak that.
yeah, I wouldn't either. Lawrence is not done with his travel for the year, but Fran is. Lawrence, I think you are joining us in at Danny's conference, aren't you? Confirm or deny? I believe you are one of the speakers, so that's exciting.
I am
Um,
very excited for that. I want to listen to all the sessions and see everybody. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, I made the mistake of offering to buy a table, so Torque's officially going to be sponsoring the
Oh, wow.
event as well. So that's cool. I don't know why the hell I did that because now I have to work.
Yeah. I don't-
This is also sponsoring?
We are sponsoring, but we won't have a table
Okay.
unless like we have a table and I don't want to work at the table. So if we have a table, I just want to go.
I know,
to this
I know.
conference.
I wish I hadn't done that. Honestly,
how much was the table? Wasn't it only like $100?
Yeah, they're only like
or something?
$100.
Yeah, so
So
I was saying like if we did get a table, maybe we would just put the stickers or something out there and just
that's a good
like
idea.
leave
That's a
it
good
there.
idea. I am
I don't know.
also going to be setting up a 100 devs meetup at the event because a lot of us are in
Cool.
100 devs. Leon's going to be there.
Is it going to be like Torque 100 devs?
No,
Or what
just
is it gonna
100
be?
devs.
Just 100
Just 100 devs. Yeah, we've got at least like 10 already confirmed 100 devers that are going to be in attendance. So I want to
Wow.
get as many as we can because I think it'd be really awesome and celebrate like the end of the year with everybody from the cohorts. Upa's coming in with a tech win, created a couple Python scripts to automate certain tasks, created his own Git server with automation using Terraform and Ansible, self-hosted VPN to access my home lab from Canada. Upa, you are on another level.
I know. He's
bro.
he's doing some crazy things.
Yeah.
I see Francesco said he saw the pieces feature of me dragging code on VS Code from a list. I think that was Jim. I know we look pretty similar, but I think that was Jim.
They get mistaken a lot.
You know, it happens. I have like a slight British accent too, so you know. But
I want to give a big shout to Josh Siri too, who is in the chat right now. This is one of my homies, one of my Laravel guys. He has been so helpful with me getting some of my projects going. And he makes great content. So if anybody's not following Josh on here, on Twitter, he's got an amazing YouTube channel. Get your ass over there. I don't know what's wrong with you, but anyway, that's my plug for Josh right now. Let's see, Lawrence out Tampa and Jacksonville. Oh wow, he's got to go to Virginia, Florida, and then he's going to Dallas. Holy crap. That's a lot of traveling, man. Vaden worldwide.
I'm going to be having a crazy travel. So next month I'll be going, or we're actually in November. So I'll be going to Salt Lake City for the Cube conference, which is the Kubernetes conference.
Oh, you're going to KubeCon. Nice.
Yeah, I'll be going to KubeCon. So I hope to see Utpa there because I know like he's really deep into DevOps. So that's like the place for him to be. Huge recommendation for that. And then I fly from there all the way to Sydney for the Web Directions conference, which is the biggest web development conference in Australia. So I'll be traveling from negative sub-zero temperature to bright and sunny 30 Celsius summer temperature in Australia. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be a great time too. A lot of traveling for you. You're going to get all your Sky Miles. Matt's coming in here saying I'm late to the PHP game. I am late, but at the same time, I would like to point out that Matt is the one that got me on the PHP game because it was his company that was hiring for a Drupal role that I was up for. And that's what got me into PHP. And I never looked back. But Josh, I really think you should try to come to Dallas, at least for a day. Just come. It's relatively close. I happen to know your region. Let's make that happen. We'll
get your code.
Yeah, to commit your code. That would be awesome. I would love that for you. Let's see. In a short description, how was your experience at the conference as part of being part of the Torque company? Yeah, this was my first conference in an official role, and we weren't sponsoring the event. We weren't like present at a table, so I didn't have to have that sort of like representation there, but it was great. I loved it. The energy was great. I loved having like a specific thing to talk about and endorse. And I thought our meetup went really well. We co-sponsored a meetup with Render at a brewery, and it was great. I think it went really well. We had a great turnout, and I mean, attrition to the platform. Like we've had so many people coming to the Discord and to the actual like talent marketplace platform. So I think it was a success. They're down in Mexico right now doing a little similar type thing. It's a lot smaller down there, but we target a lot of Latin America markets, so it's good that they're there. But
yeah, I do think your meetup was probably like maybe tied with the ice cream one, just because you know that ice cream was pretty good. But no, but besides the ice cream, it was I think the best one that I was at the whole time. So
yeah, can we? Okay, let's talk about that. Let's
What?
talk about that
The
ice
ice
cream
cream?
meetup. Holy shit.
Those
That was
ice creams were like the
yeah.
biggest. They literally had like a slice of cake on top of the already ginormous ice cream.
What?
It was crazy.
No,
Yeah,
dude, let
I'm
me
sure
That
there's
hold
some
sounds
on.
the most
pictures.
American thing.
No, it was
like a lot.
super American. Super
But
American.
it was so good though, actually. Like I'm not a huge ice cream person in general because I feel like usually it's just way too sweet for me. But and it was sweet, but it was just really good ice cream in my opinion. So
Who organized that
Agreed.
meetup? I was just like out of
that was
curiosity.
Andrew from
Okay,
Dev
Andrew.
Yeah,
Cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dev Cycle, the
So,
Andrews.
Both
the
Andrews.
did.
Yeah.
No, I expect Andrew because he's such a upbeat person. I totally expect him to come up with such out of the box ideas. Like he has such a wonderful positive energy. It was clear when we met at that conference. So
Yeah.
I can expect him to pull off such kind of really
Yeah, Andrew's awesome.
It was a good idea,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people were in sugar comas the next day because it was just a lot.
There you
So
go.
that's one
Oh.
example.
That was
is
like
That was a
amazing.
small one. I
yeah,
feel
that was
like.
the small s'mores.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
that thing, this thing to the right here, that's an entire chocolate dipped s'more. And then
Wow.
there's this whipped topping, and this thing had all the stuff in it. Like I needed like 7 insulin shots when I was done.
Yeah.
I remember
It
there is
was
this one
a lot.
American restaurant chain that basically serves really massive milkshakes, and in the milkshake they will basically put an entire slice of chocolate mousse cake. And then serve
That
it.
was this. That was
I
this.
think
Hold
it
on,
was
let me.
this. I
I'm
mean,
gonna
I don't know
pull
if it was
up.
a chain, but
Yeah, I'm gonna
Could've
pull
been.
up Andrew's picture because he
it was a
had
lot.
Goodbye is hungry.
the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then me and Richard got cones that weren't that big, but they were blue ice cream, and it literally turned our teeth and our mouths blue. Like I literally had to brush. I don't know about Richard, but I had to brush my lips that night.
wow.
I was like trying to literally. I was like, I can't talk to people like this. It was bad.
Oh yeah, you guys had those cones.
Yeah, no, I mean, it literally, I don't know why, but it came out of my teeth, and I think, maybe it made them a little brighter because of the blue, but
I think I
it
can
was
still
bad.
see the blue, Ellie.
You can see it? Yeah,
it's still
it's
there.
possible. Oh, Richard had to brush his lips too. Yeah, it was a lot of dye in there.
Yeah. Yeah, he did survive. Andrew survived. Everybody did. Me and Jim ran 6 miles the next morning to try to make up for it.
it
Didn't
didn't.
even touch it. Didn't even touch it. It was good though. It was good. I think
It was
my wins from the event was just again being able to see everybody and then meet new friends.
Yeah.
I met so many of you at Render, which carried over to that conference. But even establishing new relationships online and then meeting those people. I got to meet Heather Thacker, who's the DevRel over at Chef. Like we've talked for a while. She's helped me with tons of great advice and feedback. So I finally got to meet her. I met YK.
I know. I met YK too. I was
wow.
like,
Yeah.
you. And then he was like, hello.
Yeah. Yeah. He's so
I'm
like,
can we hug? And he's like, yes.
he's so like low key, which was super funny.
He's
and I'll have
exactly
to-
how I thought he would be, though. So,
Yeah.
that's how he sounds on Spaces, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is. Definitely.
He's one
Yeah.
person I haven't met yet, so hopefully sometime soon.
Ellie, I'll send you. I have all the clips from that thing, the content that we were shooting, and I ran up on YK and did that, and he was just so confused.
He's like, who are you?
I did this whole Chevy. I did this whole. I don't know if you're familiar with the Billy on the Street sketch. It's this comedian that runs around New York City and asks people questions for $1. So I was
wow.
doing that at two people at the conference, and I ran up on YK and he's like, what do you mean $1? Like he was so like caught off guard.
Yeah.
It was good. It was
Perfect.
good. Yeah. It was fun though. I had a good time, and I'm definitely. How short is he in person? I posted a picture.
I feel like he's
of
not
him.
short. I don't remember him being. I feel like he's the same height as me.
No.
No?
No.
Okay, I don't remember. I
No,
felt like we
he's
were the
definitely
same height.
shorter. Hang on, I'll get the I'll get the picture here. I'm looking for it. There he is.
Yeah, Lawrence, that's exactly how it was. He was standing in front of the Pieces booth because I guess he like heard I wanted to meet him and I couldn't find him anywhere. And then I like ran out and I was like, "Hey, YK!"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hello, Ellie."
Hello, Ellie. Hello.
Okay, but
Ellie.
you're also like a giant. You're a giant.
I am a lot. I am a
I
lot
feel like-
taller than people say I am.
I stand
I
at the
forgot
same
I
height as YK does, right next to you.
I forgot.
You
I
think
totally
so?
forgot how
I think
tall
so.
Jason is.
I think me and YK are like the same height. I got a selfie with him and we were like right next, like the same
Okay.
height. I think.
I
Unless
totally
I
forgot
leaned
how
down like this,
tall-
but I don't think I did.
Yeah.
I only
I
do that
totally
with
forgot how
Brodsky.
tall Jason is.
Let's see. I can tell that you stand between Jason and Rich. It's fine. Yeah. About
Oh.
13. I am
Okay,
about
I am
13 feet
taller.
tall. Okay, you
I
are.
am
See.
taller. Okay,
See?
I am taller. a
Not
little
by
bit.
much, though. Not by much.
So then Jason will be probably as tall as me because I'm 5'7", so he must be 5'7".
Yeah, I would say he's probably about 5'7", 5'8". I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah. Yeah. Super low key dude though. Like I feel like the energy in the room, or even because that picture that we took was up in Tracy's room. Like he was just kind of just off to the corner a little bit, more observing than anything.
That's how he is, though. I think.
Yep.
And then he'll like drop some wisdom every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's how he is in spaces. Like he's really quiet, and then like all of a sudden he comes out and like drops a wisdom bomb
Yeah.
on everybody.
Yeah. He told me his talk went really well too. I missed everything on Tuesday because I had to leave early. Did I see Chrissy? A wild Chrissy is back.
I know.
Chrissy is back in the
Chrissy has
chat.
been gone for a long time.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, it was great to just see a bunch of people that I've talked to forever that I haven't met at these conferences yet. And I'm looking forward to what is it, the 18th and 19th of November? Because it sounds like I'll be at React Summit for a couple days.
Woo!
That's great. Yeah.
Which would be cool.
Hanging out with Richard.
Yes, if Richard
the-
comes.
The Jace Nation is really good because I've been part of the program committee for 3 years now, and their lineup is great. And I think like I'm not sure if the venue is the same. Last year they had it at the Jersey City or the New Jersey Science Center. So they literally had so the entire room is like a theater, and it's not like your typical theater. It's rounded, so it's completely curved. So imagine like being able to give your presentation at a location that's like where even your screen is completely curved. It's like it's just
That's cool.
mind-blowing. Yeah.
Yeah, this will be obviously my first one in JS something. It's the same
JS
company.
Nation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
JS
the
Nation is
Git
happening
Nation,
at the
yeah.
exact same time.
Yeah.
So there's just like hundreds of really great speakers. Going to be a ton of people
Yeah.
down there. I'm trying to set up some sort of an impromptu event type thing so I can at least expense it. But otherwise, I'm just going to go down and hang out. And then we have Dallas. So that's that'll be it for this year anyway. What about you, Ellie? What do you got left? Just Dallas?
The chat is like claiming that I have multiple water bottles. I only have this coffee, which it's already gone, and this one. But yeah, I do want to go to Dallas in December. That's my goal because I think it'll just be a lot of fun, and I'm sure there's going to be like really, really good talks. So I'm excited just to go and learn and hang out with everybody. Yeah. And then I had a thought, and then it left my brain. I'll try to remember it.
All right. I think the talks are going to be great, and I think cost-wise, going to Dallas is like such a clutch move for people. $30 for a ticket, and you
The
just
Danny
have to
Thompson
get there.
conference.
Yeah, Danny Thompson conference.
And then
Yeah.
You gotta
I would
go,
love to
but
come.
literally everyone is gonna go because it's only like $30, and then maybe we'll just get a huge Airbnb and everybody sleeps there.
I
We'll
think
see.
that is a terrible idea, and I will not do that, but I still will be there.
Yeah,
but-
I don't know if I'll do that or not. To be fair,
It could
I
be like a
to
hacker
have
house, you
my
know?
own bathroom. I really hate sharing bathrooms because
Yeah.
I don't like. especially in an Airbnb, if there's like no counter space, and then you have to like, you can't put any of your stuff down, like not even a toothbrush. So you have to take it in and out and in and out. It's just very, very annoying.
But it could turn out to be a really fun hacker house. Booking a villa with 10 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms. Everyone is coming there.
That could be cool. Yeah, it could be a cool hacker house. Although I don't think anybody would be hacking away. It seems like people would just be drinking and sleeping until
be a big old party.
Noon.
For sure. But I mean, cost wise, it makes the most sense. There's a ton of great speakers. The whole community is going to be there. So I've been telling a lot of people, like, bang for your buck for a conference. This is the one to get to.
I think it's worth it.
And use it for whatever you want. I mean, if you're going for talks, go to learn. If you're going to try to find a job, there's a ton of companies and people that do have jobs that you can connect with. So I think it's what you make of it.
I know, like earlier it was being organized in early November, right? But then it got postponed to December, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was something with booking the place to have the event. The only time they had available was here. Danny said about 250 tickets have already been sold. That is fantastic. All of it's going to charity too, which I think is really, really cool. I wish it was a little after Christmas though, so that we could give away tickets at our Tech Commute Christmas special, but we'll have to come up with something else. I think I have an idea though.
Yeah, we could do, I think probably, we'll have to see with Clark, but maybe we can get Clark in on it again for that conference. And I think there's so many people that want to like donate little things. Whether it's, I'm sure we can convince Eddie Blog Recorder to do like 3 months or something like that.
A free subscription.
Yeah, I think we can get some cool stuff.
I'm
sure the Pieces people will give us some hoodies or something.
I'm sure we can get some swag. I think that we could probably get a couple different conference tickets depending on what's coming up. Like I
think so too.
I probably know some people at Render that I could have help us out too. So maybe a couple Render tickets would be pretty dope.
We got to figure out a good system for choosing people though.
I already got it.
You got it already?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Thankfully, one of my homies at AppRight devised a really great wheel.
Aditya Oberoi? That is because they are also using it for their current hackathon. He's a wonderful person.
Yeah, he wrote that whole program. They've been using it for the Inits raffles, and it works great. So we're going to use that, and I'll tweak it for. I wonder who that is. We will tweak it for our event, but I think that's going to be how we do it. We're just everybody for each thing will enter, and that's it.
I just remembered what I was going to say a couple minutes ago.
Do it, and then we'll wrap up here.
Did you notice that there was a lot of 100 Devs people at All Things Open? Like I personally met a lot more compared to other conferences. Like they just kept coming, maybe because I'm at a booth too. So I'm meeting like a bunch of people I wouldn't normally talk to maybe. And they're like, hey, I'm see their name tag is like 100 Devs. I'm like, 100 Devs.
What exactly is 100 Devs, by the way?
It's an online like community cohort. Leon runs a boot camp, but it's all self-taught. He does cohorts, which were timed. There were live streams and you had to attend. There was homework and a curriculum, but the goal is to finish it and then be able to get a job afterwards. We had a ton of people there and they kept coming up to me at our meetup, at Taylor's talk, because I had mentioned it. So I was in Taylor's talk the whole time and I left because it was standing room, like people were sitting and it was super fucking hot. So I left for a minute and I like went to get our videographer wasn't going to have time to eat. So I like ran down and got him a sandwich and I'm like sneaking back into the back of the room when he was about to wrap up. And he just calls me out and is like, hey, tell everybody your story about like how we met and like what's happened for you, because it was relevant to what his talk was about. I was not
talk cameo in there.
I was not prepared at all. Like, I mean, I like walk. I have this box, and I'm like sliding into the back. Yeah, that was weird. But yes, I talked about 100 devs there, so there were people in the room that were in 100 devs that immediately came up when we were done, introduced themselves. I mean, there was great representation there, and that was one of the things that prompted me to want to do the meetup in Dallas, so that we can connect, because I don't see a lot of like in-person meetups at conferences happening, and I would love to make it happen. So that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, all right. Any last thoughts, Shivay? Thank you so much for being here. By the way, your insight's been awesome. And what do you got coming up next that we can see on? Plug something.
Yeah, absolutely. I think first of all, like, thank you so much for inviting me over. I know this was being planned for a long time, and being able to
we finally made it happen. Yeah.
Yes, we finally made it happen. So I'm really grateful to all of you. And I think, like, to be honest, like, this is also a win for me this week, being able to collaborate with both of you again. I know, Jason, we had to cut short our coffee chat. So one of my goals for the month of November would be to have a proper coffee chat with you.
We'll make it happen.
Jason hates coffee chats. He doesn't do them. He's like,
I do.
Oh, he only does impromptu, hey, what are you doing right now? Let's call things. He doesn't call them coffee chats.
No,
yeah,
it's
he
fine.
Doesn't like that word.
But I do make an exception for some people to have conversations.
Yes.
And we will continue our conversation.
He'll make an exception for you, Shivay. You're the only one he wants to have a coffee chat with.
That's right.
Apparently.
That is
no. I actually told a couple people at Render. I was like, let's catch up. That's like my thing. I don't know. It feels weird. But I am down for it, Shivay. We will have a chat. I look forward to it.
But
so what about,
like, on a personal front, I'll probably start to go into the job hunting mode sometime later this year. But for now, I'm really just focusing on the freelancing and like working in a kind of agency kind of way. Like, that has been really good for me. It's been a lot more. I'm a lot more free to make decisions, and while it's also a big challenge to be able to replicate the kind of learnings that I got at Pieces, but just growing in that sense, right? Because ultimately, when you want to make a switch from being an IC to being able to like run entire end-to-end programs, one thing that I really love from my time at Pieces with Jim on board was that everything is like super KPI driven, right? So whenever you think about even like having this online meetup or having one session, you have to think about the metrics ultimately. When your company reaches to a certain stage, everything matters. So like, just very carefully looking at everything from not just the perspective of how will this impact the developer community, but also at the same time, what are the key KPIs that are there. So I'm really like using all of that learnings to build better developer programs, and of course like continuing to upskill. So I think like what you'll probably see a few online content that I'll be posting. So I'll make sure to tag all of you and share anything that's relevant. But hopefully we'll meet again next year at some other conference. And but by the way, Jason, where do you live? I forgot.
I'm up in New York. Yeah, I'm up in Western New York. So
yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll definitely, hopefully we'll see you at another conference soon. That would be fantastic. And please keep us posted with anything you're working on. Ellie, what about you? Last thoughts and we'll wrap up.
Just doing my thing. We have a portfolio roast session thing in the Pieces Discord next Wednesday. So be there or where. And then that's pretty much it. We're going to be doing a bunch of different events like in November. So just keep your eye out for those if you want to join. We might have some like ask me anythings with engineers in the Discord. So I'm trying to do more like events because I feel like I'm not that good at Discord, the whole keeping up with the chat thing, but at least I want to have some stuff going on so people can kind of join.
For sure.
Yeah, I hope someone else can do the chat thing though, because I really don't like to keep up with like a really long random chat.
It's hard to multitask.
It's a lot. I'll forget about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll keep up with the chat.
I can help volunteer that if you want.
We appreciate that. I just feel bad because like
No, I think
you're not getting paid to
it's
do that. So
no, that's totally fine because I feel like the kind of connections that I built with people at within pieces. I think like I'm forever grateful for the learnings and the way that my career kind of got boosted just because of the influence of all the amazing engineers in the team. So and I, of course, like I still use the tool every day. So it's not
Mhm.
I think I told this to Savo and everyone when I was leaving that for me it's now, yes, like the title is not there, but I still feel that I'm a champion for pieces because of the fact that I was so heavily engrossed with the Discord community that I'll never leave it. I still, I'm still
Aw.
active in the
Good.
community, answering
Love
questions,
that.
and I think like everyone should
yeah,
have
I
that.
see you in there,
Uh,
and I'm like,
yeah,
It's
that's
the way to
awesome.
be. It's the way to
yes,
be.
and I think like that's the positive mindset to be able to go through that phase because I know that so many people get affected with all of the layoffs and everything, but I think like if you have a positive mindset towards it, you will eventually find the right kind of job. And in fact, like Mason from Pieces, like he immediately recommended me to a couple of places, which again shows that if you really focus on building good connections within the company, like people within your company will support you. And I think like that's the kind of culture that we had at Pieces, which was apparently like that's why everyone loved interacting with everyone at that conference, and that
Mhm.
culture is what really drives communities. So
True.
I
Yeah.
feel truly grateful to be part of that community.
Hell yeah. Pieces is a great community for sure. Definitely go check it out on Ellie's profile. And I've dropped our Discord to the Torque community down there in the chat. If you're not already in there, we are
Oh, I have to
hosting
join that.
yeah, we're actually going to
Yeah,
be
I want to go
doing
to your networking thing.
that. It will
Yeah.
be starting in about an hour on our Discord. So feel free to drop in. We had almost 30 people in the last one.
So cool.
So looking forward to the next one. People can come up, say hi, tell us what they're working on. It's basically this, but for that community. So it's been exciting and it's growing every week. So I hope to see you guys there. We almost are at 2,000 total members in the Discord. So
That's
we've been growing pretty quick. It's been almost 400 new members in the last month. It's staying super active, and it's great to see all of you there supporting Torque and what me and Taylor and Brianna are putting together. So I hope to see you guys. I'm gonna hop off and go make sure Jack didn't burn the other half of the house down because he's just hanging out downstairs doing school work on his computer, ABC mouse. But yeah, I hope to see you guys there. And if I don't, we'll see you Monday. Holy shit, Ellie, I have no clue who we have this Monday.
I think it's
I
like
have no
Savo
idea.
because Savo
Oh,
is
is
Do
it
we
coming.
have
Savo?
Is it Savo this week?
I'm
Oh,
not sure.
okay.
I think he's like in November, I guess.
Okay,
That would be
well,
great. Okay.
yeah. Then if it's Savo, are you gonna post that today, or is it gonna be out just on Monday?
I usually schedule that for Monday morning, but maybe we'll put it out.
It's
Maybe we'll put it
Vanessa, I
out
think.
today.
Yeah, if you
On
want
Monday
to
it's
post
Vanessa.
it today or tomorrow, then I can, share it with the Pieces account and stuff.
That would be
No,
great.
no,
Maybe
it's
it'll be better.
Vanessa on 4th and Savo is on 11th of November.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. So we still have another week there.
Another week.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah. Okay, we're
Yeah,
good.
but if you
We're
want to
good.
post
All right.
Savos a
Yes.
little bit early, it might be helpful so I can share it
Awesome.
with the Pieces.
Yes,
account.
yes. We'll
Or at least the invite link thing, and then
yeah,
I'll just make a
we'll
new
do that.
post about it.
I love it.
Cool.
Let me I'm gonna message our graphics guy. It's Jacob, just so everybody knows it's Jacob. And have him whip up the next couple cards and I'll get it over to you. But outside of that,
Awesome.
we'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. Remember,
Yeah.
it's nice to be important. It's more important
Absolutely.
to be nice. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Have a great weekend.
Bye, Chavez. Bye, Ellie.
Bye.